Greetings, one and all. This is Michael DiMartino of Earthstock Foundation, coming to you from Crestone, Colorado, post the Earthstock Eco Spiritual Summit. And as amazing as the event was, of course, as all things in life, there's breakthroughs and there are breakdowns. So part of the event was helping to bring forward solutions for humanity at this time in our relationship to the environment and the natural world, and also with each other. So through that process, just over a year now, I've had the honor to get to meet Grandmother Gail Thomas of the Tsalagi Woodlands people in Asheville, North Carolina. And paradoxically enough, a lot of the things we were speaking about at the summit came into manifestation shortly after with the hurricane that had a huge effect, of course, where Grandmother Gail lives in Asheville, North Carolina, but a lot of the southeast of the United States. So this is unfortunately a big part of this incredible purification and transformation we're going through at this time. But unfortunately, this, Mother Earth cleaning things up a little bit also has a lot of devastation and suffering for people, and exposing a lot of the injustices that we have done towards the earth and towards the environment. So with that, it's a great honor. I want to introduce to share a little more about her experience there, literally at ground zero, and you can kind of see some of the devastation even there, even though she was at the top of the mountain, the wind and the rains and just a lot of the things that happened there. So we want to welcome, and we're so glad that she's safe, Grandmother Gail Thomas.
Thank you so much. Silganali, hello friends. Hello, Michael. It's wonderful to be here. Extra wonderful after coming through such a horrible, just horrific event. And I was very fortunate. There is devastation all around me. My trees in my forest that I love so much are down on the ground now, and I was without anything, groceries, electricity, water, communications for over 2 weeks. But grateful to be alive, me and my dog, and no trees on my house, though some are still leaning that way and still kind of scary. And 2 huge landslides here on the mountain. One ended about 100 yards from my house, and huge boulders just came out of the mountains. And what was a tiny little trickle of a stream is now 50 feet wide with huge banks cut into the earth. And it's just unbelievable devastation here. But I'm hoping to share my ways of getting through this, what was helpful in those times when I was cut off from everything, some simple things that I had already been practicing as just a way of simplifying my life and making more time for my weekly gatherings of singing and dancing. Our original woodlands peoples focused on food and shelter in the day and the sunlight, and then at night gathered around the fire to sing and dance in community. And so the best way for me to do that is online. And that's what I missed the most when I was so isolated by the storm and the devastation to the systems that we rely on so much. There is an elder that I worked with maybe 20 years ago who would say, learn to live without electricity and we'll get the continent back. Well, I was kind of already practicing some of those ways and minimizing as much as possible. It's very challenging in that situation. There is so much that we don't realize we rely on. And while I had the spring water just down the hill behind me, you can see that there was a lot of difficulty getting on the path. It was climbing over trees, and it still is. being able to get to the spring water and to the stream that supports so much life around me. And we haven't had any rain since the storm. It'll be a month now without rain in just a few days. And that's very uncommon for this area. But I want to do a presentation along with my gratitude for getting back to my weekly songs, sharing the songs that come to me in dreams. And you can hear my gong. Hopefully, the wind is playing the gong now because I can't get to it very easily. And then also the dances that come from a journey, and that Michael is collaborating on the music and the messages of these dances. It's so beautiful to be able to share these in this supported community. Again, after being away for a month, that was really, really challenging for me. So I invite you all to join us. If you're on Facebook, search for a group called Transformation Dance and join us there, and we'll release the event schedules soon. Soon we'll release the November event schedules. Fortunately, I didn't release October. I wasn't able to do anything, so we're going to be back at that. And also, Michael and I are going to do a series to share my experiences of getting through this storm and this challenging time. Very simple things that I suggest you start practicing now so they're not new adventures in times of disaster that create so much stress and so many unknowns already. Very simple things we can do every day that also get us out of the products from the pipelines. So these are things that are easy and can really make an impression if enough people will do them on that multi-billion-dollar daily care, they call it, industry that comes right out of the pipelines with the neurotoxins from the petrochemical products that we don't realize and we use so carelessly without knowing what the impact is. So Michael and I will put together a
Yeah.
workshop and tell you what
I,
worked.
I actually had an epiphany as you were speaking. Ancient wisdom for a modern world in transition.
Yes, beautiful. That is what we want to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, way too much experience, but grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than magic, fairy dust and feelings.
Mhm.
And I know you and I talk a lot. I mean, I know you have a background in Jungian psychology, and I went through a 3-year interfaith ministry program, and not to toot our own horns, but I know that in our communication we talk a lot about the world, about your tradition and indigenous perspectives, and we have the benefit of other wisdom keepers and grandmothers. And I know I talk a lot as an interfaith minister about various spiritual and religious traditions, but also right now, the focus of my work is being of service as a compassionate, sentient being in service to nature, to the environment, and also to humanity for those who have, and I want to be very discerning when I say this, for those who have eyes to see, ears to hear, but also the humility to put sometimes their own personal needs or traumas aside to focus and work on the bigger picture. So, ancient wisdom for a modern world in transition.
Beautiful, Michael. That is it. That's what we want to share. And actually, this Friday, November 1st, we will gather in the new moonlight with the Grandmother's Council and the Wisdom Council for Our Stock Foundation and share our experiences of relationship. And that is one of the ancient ways I want to encourage returning to a verb-based language of the ancient ones and the Tsalagi people here in my homeland.
Well, we're very re-inspired, that we're continuing to germinate these ongoing roundtables and councils. Of course, the Wisdom Keeper Council. Many of those showed up at Earthstock and are on now to other endeavors and projects. And for those that know that we are continuing the work, and of course, the Grandmother Council, something that we've really lost in our modern world is honoring the voice of women, honoring the voice of elders, and of course, the grandmothers who have their unique knowledge and have always been an essential cornerstone to counsel in not only indigenous traditions, but many traditions around the world. And of course, the Walking in the Moonlight and your transformation dance, which again people can find on Facebook. And I'm still doing deep listening right now to I'm going to start up Solutionaries again, which is really showcasing briefly the people that are making positive change through solutions in the world. And it, even though we talk about psychology and many of these things, it's really about boots on the ground, hands in the earth, and about solutions and follow through, not just ear tickling or shameless self promotion.
That's right.
So always happy and honored to have time with you. And I mean, this is real. This is in motion now that you're online. Being able to keep in communication with you in Asheville,
Mhm.
North Carolina, about this process of regeneration with that amazing love pod.
Yeah,
So
thanks to the Love Pod, I'm back online. Yeah, and to you for making that happen.
yeah, and shout out to Stephen and to
Yeah.
Chief for the work that they're doing,
Mhm.
and some of the seeds from Earthstock Summit will continue to germinate and bring positive change and solutions to the world. So thank you so much for your time, and we're just glad that you're safe, and we'll be supporting you and continuing the programming here online and in person. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you too, Michael. Wadoro pinami owaste.
And also a shout out to many others. I know SD Youngwolf joins us
Mhm.
many times, and other very profound, insightful wisdom keepers from around uh, Turtle Island and around the world. So again, thank you so much.
He'll be there on Friday, as will Patricia Aguilera in Brazil, and at the Big Canoe. Many of our usuals will be there
All
talking
right.
about relationship, deepening into it on Zoom.
We'll tell
Cool,
our
Michael.
our four-legged friend there with you that we also say hello.
Oh, yes, my little foxy dog. He's a good boy.
All right.
Thank you.
Until again.
Till again.